Welcome. Today's project's all about role models and how having the right role models can move you from that anxious, depressed, stuck, stagnant person towards that ideal you, the you that you've always wanted to be. Now, have you ever heard of the saying, you are who you hang around? It's so true. You are who you hang around. And I'm going to talk about why that's the case, because in our brains, we have mirror neurons. We imitate unconsciously other people. We absorb their beliefs. We absorb their mannerisms. And the more of these people that you hang around, the more you become like them, right? So let's first talk about what a role model is. A role model is someone you admire, somebody you look up to, somebody you want to be like, right? You want to live like this person. You want to act like this person. You want to look like this person. You want to have the same posture. You want to have the same confidence. You want to have the same energy, the same positive energy. So the more you hang around these people, the more you become like them. So let's talk about the frontal lobes in our brain, because it's important to understand that first and understand how we kind of mirror each other. Well, it's these frontal lobes. There's these cells called mirror neurons within our brains that, like the word mirror, we mirror each other, right? Have you ever scratched your nose during a conversation and then someone else who you're talking to, they scratch their nose? It's the mirroring, it's the connection, right? That a writer compared mirror neurons to neural Wi-Fi. You know, we connect, we're in sync with each other, right? We pick up other people's intentions, motivations, emotions. And so that's why when you hang around somebody who's weighed down by anxiety or trauma, you pick up on their emotions, you connect with that person. And then you may feel like after the conversation, after the get together, when you leave, you feel emotionally exhausted, you feel drained, you want to take a nap, right? It's because of that connection. We pick up on other people's energy. But I remember when I would hang around my friend who was weighed down by so much trauma, after we would get together, I would feel emotionally exhausted. And not only that, but when I was at home, because I hanged around him for so long, many days of the weeks, his voice would develop in my head. I would start to tell his jokes. I would start to act like him. And that's why the quote, "You are who you hang around," has so much meaning. It's because it's true. It's because of those mirror neurons. We mirror each other. And that's why having the right role models during your recovery is crucial for moving away from that set person, the person with anxiety, and developing this mind of constant growth and reaching the ideal you, right? But it's not just about reaching that ideal you. It's about constantly growing and growing and growing. These people who I admire constantly grow non-stop. And that's why I always subject myself to these people. So when I first started my anxiety recovery, I continuously subjected myself to people who overcame anxiety and have gotten better. All the time, all day. And I realized that the people I used to hang around, those negative friends, they were just supporting that negative Brad. They were only supporting that Brad with the set mindset, with the narrow perspective, right? You want to widen your gaze. You want to continuously grow. You want to live a healthy life with the right job. You want to have the right career, I should say. You want to have the right family life and live financially healthy and all of these things. So it's developing all of these different role models that and subjecting yourself to all of these different role models to help you get there, right? To help you get there. But when I first started to recover from anxiety and I subjected myself to people who overcame anxiety, I was met with resistance because the information they were preaching didn't go with my already set limiting beliefs, right? So I was met with resistance. It was hard for me to see myself in their shoes because I felt like the bar was so high. But the thing with the right role model is that you want somebody who tells you how to get out of the state you're in and to get to the point they're at, the role models you chose. So I was met with that resistance, but I kept subjecting myself to their content, to their YouTube videos, to their podcasts. And the more I was listening to them, the more I was watching them, the more, like, I knew in my heart that I was going to become like them, no matter what, because my old ways was just hanging around negative friends. It was not serving me any good. And I was just subjecting myself to this information. Even though I had a hard time understanding what they were talking about, I knew that my unconscious mind understood. And that was so crucial at the beginning. I knew that the more I just subject myself, the more my unconscious understands. Even though I don't really understand it, my unconscious does. And so that was my beginning. So now I want to talk about the reasons why role models are so important. You want role models that help you to challenge previous ways of thinking. You know, I had a narrow mindset. I only saw one side of the coin. I only was following these limiting beliefs. But you want role models to challenge those limiting beliefs, to challenge those thoughts, those limiting thoughts. And my perspective widened. I was thinking outside of the box the more I was subjecting myself to these role models. And you want a role model that'll help you recover. And you want a role model who will help you overcome your challenges step by step. You don't want somebody who's just talking a big game but doesn't act in what they preach, right? They just want to make some money. They don't care about you. They don't have the compassion to help you. You want people who overcame the challenges, same challenges you are going through, and you want step-by-step notes. You want this step-by-step structure because an anxiety sufferer needs that structure in their life. They don't have structure. It's chaos. Everything is quick. Got to have it now. Got to do this right now. There's so much to do. I don't want to feel this way. What if I have this disease and all of these things? It's chaos. So you want to have some structure. You want to have a role model who will help you develop that structure. And you want a role model who will help you act and speak differently, right? You don't want to be the same person with the same habits, doing the same routines. You want to be somebody new. You want to be like that person. So the more you subject yourself to that person, remember, mirror neurons, right? The more you're subjecting yourself to that content, the more you're going to pick up their mannerisms. The more you're going to pick up their ways of speaking, their tones, how they communicate. So that's what you want. You want a role model who will help you improve your health physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. You want a role model who will help you feel healthier on all of those levels. How to develop the right mindset, how to exercise properly, what kind of habits do they do, right? And like for me, looking up to someone like David Goggins, who's a exercise fanatic, man. I get motivated when I watch his stuff. I'm like, I'm not all I could be. I could be better. I could be doing what he's doing, right? And so I look up to people like him, like exercise wise, or I look up to like the Dalai Lama, more of like spiritually, because I love to meditate. And I look up to people like Russell Brand, who eats healthy and who meditates regularly and who is always growing as a person. He's going back to school, or he's finished school by now, I believe, and he's writing amazing books on how to recover from addictions. Or like Jordan Peterson, who talks about how to get from a dark place to a place that has more meaning, and how to get there. And these people talk about how they got there and what to do, right? And there's many YouTubers out there who coach, like myself, who talk about, the process from anxiety sufferer to warrior. So I look up to so many YouTubers out there who promote NoFap, who promote anxiety recovery, who promote overcoming addictions. There's so much great content, and we're living in an age where we can surround ourselves with that content all the time, and thus absorbing their habits, absorbing their lifestyles, right? So that's important. You want a role model that'll help you to grow and change continuously. Like I said, like Russell Brand, who always promotes, like, you could continuously learn, because he is continuously learning with his podcast, right? He has a great podcast where he talks to many different people about spirituality, overcoming addictions, how to be healthier. And it's not only that, there's a lot of anxiety podcasts out there that talk about the process from living with anxiety to overcoming it and living a meaningful life. There's people like the minimalists who talk about how to live with less, and that living with less actually is better for you healthy and mentally, right? There's more meaning in your life when you get rid of all of your attachments to material possessions. Very, very powerful. I look up to those guys as well. There's many guys I look up to, authors such as Viktor Frankl, who's an amazing psychologist, and people like, Stephen Covey and Brent Baum. There's so many people out there, so make sure you subject yourself to these people continuously. And you want a role model that'll help you succeed, right? They want you to succeed. They developed compassion because they overcame their challenges. They found passion and meaning in the change process. And then now they're giving it to you because they found meaning in change. And now they're talking about their story. They're talking about how they overcame anxiety, how they overcame addictions, how they overcame loss, guilt, shame, embarrassment, any kind of trauma. And that's what you want. You want to subject yourself to those people continuously. So, who are your role models? Ask yourself this. And ask yourself these important questions. And this is where I'm going to end this video. Ask yourself, sit alone and really ask yourself these questions. Are the people I'm hanging around, do they really want the best for me? Do the people I spend my time with, do they genuinely feel good when I accomplish something worthwhile? And do they help me reach my higher self? Do these people help me reach my higher self? Are they healthy for me? Ask yourself these questions and you will find the answers. They will come up. They will come up. And sometimes you might not like them. Sometimes it's going to be hard to face the friends that you've had for 15, 20, 30 years, right? And the truth will come up and it'll be hard to face that truth. But I faced the truth myself. And I asked myself also, how much am I willing, what am I willing to sacrifice in order to get to my higher self? Now that is a powerful question. That's where I'm going to leave you on this video. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And remember, do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be the first to know. Namaste.